here's the big question. You know, you're all asking is how do I get more business? Because, you know, it's lovely chatting and being jolly and cheery here. But at the end of the day, we all need business because we need money coming in. Okay. Now, it's a really important thing. There's only 4 ways to get business. Okay. 4 ways. And the first is find new customers. Yeah. Find new customers seems sensible. Second, get better customers. And that means probably ditching some of the ones you've got already. You know, you hang on to them a bit, but, you know, who knows? Get existing customers to buy more and reactivate dormant customers. That's it. That's it. That's 4 ways of getting business. Okay. I mean, there are ways you can, you know, point a gun at somebody and make them do it, but we're talking about legitimate ways here. Okay. So that's it. So today, what I'm going to be telling you, and this is all about you. This isn't about me and my business and how lovely I am and how wonderful I can do this and I can do that. This is the first thing when I'm planning this presentation is I'm thinking, what do you want to get out of this? What do you, the audience, want to get out of this? Not what I want to tell you. And actually, David earlier in our meeting here said the very things that I always tell you. People don't want to hear what you want to tell them. Okay, it's your job to find out what they want to hear about. And then that's where the cleverness comes, both in your selling and your presentations and everything else is, you know, what's in it for them? Because if you don't answer that question, what's in it for them, you're not going to get anywhere. Now, today, it's bamboozling, absolutely bamboozling, overwhelming how much we're told, you know, we should be doing social media. And please don't hate me for this, those of you who are working on social media and things like this, but you're in my camp, I know, because you're saying you've got to identify your customers. Most people just think, oh, I've got to do social media, and they bang out loads of posts and stuff, which actually is, you're nodding there, it's absolute nonsense. And actually, do you know what you're doing? You're pushing people away. You're not drawing them to you. You're pushing them away. And you think, all that boring stuff, oh, it's him again, or her, another boring thing about this and that, you know, and actually it's alienating people. It's doing the reverse. It's actually doing the reverse. So unless you're careful with all the activities you're doing, you're actually pushing people away from you, not attracting them. So it's a really important thing. So I want you to really ask yourselves, you know, where do you get most of your clients from? And when I ask people that, perhaps are you sort of answering me here? Where do you get your clients from? Most people say word of mouth. Word of mouth. But where are those mouths? Those mouths are on people who've worked with you, who know you, and who obviously, you know, like you, because nobody's going to recommend somebody who they don't like or who hasn't done a good job for them. They're not new people. They're not out there. So there's this sort of science out there that has got hold of people in a sort of grip that you've got to keep looking for new customers. But what have we got here? They say, and I've got my notes here, it takes 5 times more investment and effort to get a new customer than to get repeat business. Well, actually, I've found some research that says it takes 17 times more effort and investment. Actually, you know, who cares what the actual figure is? Okay, because you can come up with research to sort all that out. The ratio doesn't matter at all. So what's the most effective way to generate the business, to get those people? Well, here comes the first nugget, because that's what this talk's all about today, is nuggets that you can take away. This isn't about me and what I do. It's about what you can take away and apply to your business right now when we finish this meeting. Okay, so the first is we've got to start thinking about CLV, customers' lifetime value. Okay, customers' lifetime value, connecting with customers, delivering on value, and making sure that they're with you for a long time. It's not just a one-off. And because remember that customers that you've worked with and clients, the two terms are interchangeable, clients and customers, obviously. Not only can they give you business, they're your best ambassadors. They're your best ambassadors. And I think, you know, I was talking to Linda earlier on, and she was saying that she had a recommendation or a referral with somebody that, you know, she talked to months ago. And, you know, obviously because she's really nice, the way she talks to people, she doesn't push her business on them. Okay. You know, they referred. So ambassadors are out there all the time. They're not necessarily on social media. Remember, word of mouth. That's what this is. It's not word of social media mouth. Okay. So getting your customers' lifetime value. What are they worth to you? And there's two elements to consider here. How much is each customer or client actually worth to you? And regarding the costs of investing in looking after your customers, the same way as you look at your costs for investing in social media and website design and all the other stuff, okay? Because it's equally important, if not more important, because if you don't look after your customers, somebody else will, okay? That's the main thing. So I'm just going to very briefly glimpse into customers here, because I've got some lovely notes. I want to make sure I've got the right things, because you've got to know your customers. You said that earlier, David, the 7 W's. Who are they? I know that sounds bonkers, but do you actually know who they are? You know, what they're like, the sort of people they are, and what do they actually want? Not what did they buy last time, but what do they actually want? What do they actually do? Okay, where are they? You know, physically, where are they? Is it something that, can you go and visit them and things like that? Why should they buy from you? I mean, there's so much stuff that you've got to go into. Probably do another presentation about this, Billy. So, you know, it's another follow-up time. And also the sales process, you know, when do they buy from you? What triggers it? What is it that they, you know, what do they need from you? How long does it take from the initial contact to the delivery of the service, and so on? All these things are really, really important. And customer care, obviously. How do people reach you? Are you easy to do business with? There's Deb doing the websites there. You know, have you asked somebody who doesn't know your business very well to use your website? Just ask somebody, you know, how easy is it for you to find the details, or give them a little bit of a market research test? Yeah. Do some customer research on your own website, your own phone. Have you got an answering machine on your phone that says the person you are calling is not available? But do you know, that's so annoying. Why don't you record a nice personal message on your mobile and just make, you know, again, that personal contact, all these things. But anyway, but today it's really about communicating with your clients, and reactivating them, making sure that your communication is absolutely right, and avoid losing customers. Let's just clear up one point. Why do you lose clients? Anybody got any suggestion? Price? No, it's not about price. Only 15% leave you because of price. And is it the product, the quality of your service? No, only 15% leave about that. That's really surprising, isn't it? It's PI. Do you know what PI is? Perceived indifference. Perceived indifference, because you ignore them. You've had their money, you've given them what they wanted at that particular time, and you ignore them. Off you go on your social media mad campaigns, posting all those boring things about this and that nobody wants to know about. And well, I'll talk to you in a minute about newsletters. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. Okay, but let's see how we get rid of PI, perceived indifference, so that we can get hold of them. Okay, let's start with the easy ones first. These are real tactics, so I hope you've got your pens poised. These are tactics. Pick up the phone. Here you are. Pick up the phone. Have a little chat with somebody. Well, it's not that easy, is it? Actually, but I'll tell you, it's still, send an email, send a text, okay? A WhatsApp. But what are you going to do? It's like those posts. You're not just going to ring up and say, hello, I haven't spoken to you for a while. Can I have some more business? What's happening in their sector? What's happening to their competitors? Do you know who their competitors are? Okay. Do some hard work. do some real hard work research, a bit like cold calling. You know, it should never be cold calling. When you ring up somebody or you contact them for the first time, you should know all about their business. You should know what they're struggling to do and how your offering can help them. You've got to do your homework. But they're the easy ones, you know, the phone, the email, and so on. But the key is adding value. You've got to add value. Remember, what's in it for me? That's the first thing anybody thinks of. So if you do ring up, you've got to, you know, say something about, you know, their competitors. Hey, I was just seeing this new campaign that so-and-so have been doing. I've got a few ideas. If you wanted just to, you know, update your website to, you know, be one step ahead of them. You're being proactive. You're giving them ideas. Yeah. They're not having to come to you. So added value, that's the absolute key. And before you do anything with any clients at all, think, you know, is this actually giving them anything? Because they're only interested if there's something in it for them. Okay. Now, I said, don't get me started. I'm going to start anyway, newsletters. I don't know how many of you send newsletters out, and David's smiling here. If I get another picture of people slightly inebriated, because that's what happens at an award ceremony, in a black tie, looking wonderful because they've won an award, I'm going to go, I'm not going to be responsible for it. I am actually going to kill somebody one of these days or do something I shouldn't, because I don't care if you've won an award. In fact, when you're all that having, you know, jollies and having an award, you're not attending to my service, you know, and if you're doing all that, you know, you've got too much money that you can go off and have a big dinner at the award ceremony. That's what goes through my head. Now, if you've won an award, because now I know Chris wins awards, and I think he's wonderful because he's a really brilliant headshot photographer. And he wins awards, but he shows people what his photographs do to win the awards. He shows them how that he's managed to make them look so relaxed or whatever it is. Now, that's brilliant. But I don't care if you've won an award. And in fact, it puts me off. Again, pushing people away, because blowing your own trumpet has got nothing to do with giving people any incentive to come to you. So forget newsletters unless you've got something really of value to share, you know, some new insights, some new technical stuff. You know, there's Mike Dewey, and he's talking about his brilliant backgrounds and the leaflets he does, and that's brilliant. And you know, you might have a new client, Mike, who you've just done something really unusual because they wanted something a bit different. Share that. That's a really good post, isn't it? About something that you've done for a client. Yeah, because it makes people think, oh, that's a good idea. Okay, so I'm sorry, but as I say, it's really something. Newsletters. Why would I spend my precious time and energy reading about how brilliant you are? I don't care. Okay, so remember, it's about what they want to hear about and what's in it for them. Now, where are we? Events. Now, events. Okay, people say, inviting them to event. Oh, I can't afford, you know, big luxury posh do's and extravaganzas with wine and all this. No, we're not talking about that. Think of what an event is. It could be a workshop. I mean, how many people here know exactly about GDPR? Okay, and it's what they could be, and you can be prosecuted if you get it wrong. Okay, now if you organized a webinar on GDPR, okay, you'll get an expert to do that. So they get exposure to your network, and your people, your invitees, get some real stuff that can save them from being prosecuted. You know, it could be quite good. So collaborations with other people with events is really good. It's win-win. And it's not, again, it's not you just telling people how brilliant you are. Come and have, you know, see our lovely premises and have cheese and wine, because nobody's got the time to do that now. So what is it that you can offer them? You know, in a webinar, you can do it online, or, you know, a workshop or something, or a speaker with something. You've got to understand what the problems are that your clients are facing. And how do you do that? Listen, you ask them. There's the way, another brilliant way of getting in touch with people, clients, existing clients, dormant clients. A little survey. not a great long thing that they've got to do and it's all really difficult and everything. Just 3 questions. You can ring them up or send a little saying, say, have you got 5 minutes to spare me and answering 2 questions? Get that information, use it to arrange the event. Then you'll know. You won't have to even think what it is that they want to do or find out about. What's the top 3 things that you're having to deal with at the moment? I mean, the questions, we can sort that out. But I know we're whizzing along with time and I want to give you a few more nuggets here. But, you know, events are brilliant. And they could be just an open morning. Come and visit. Come and visit. And Rick, you talk about, you know, the video, but get people there. Get a little, you know, a workshop and show people how you do it. Get them there and open a house. Get them do a trial run. Yeah. Just show them. Because, you know, videos are one thing, but once you've got them actually there, and you know, live stuff. So there's always an event that you can organize. It doesn't have to be a great big extravaganza, an open morning, a coffee morning. What sort of time of day would be best? What, you know, is it morning? Is it lunchtime? Is it evening? What's the best time? Again, use your survey to do that. And if you're going to do any sort of survey, send out a little pilot one first. Don't send it to everybody, your whole database, because if you've got something wrong, and let's say people misunderstand a word, or, you know, there's a glitch in the system, the whole thing's shot. Okay, so always send out a little pilot when you do a survey. Yeah, you know, 6 people, test it out, and then you'll know before the disaster hits, because it can be a really painful. And again, we're thinking about your reputation, and if you do something wrong like that and there's a glitch, it's not really good for the reputation. So minimize reputation loss. Okay, so we can get speakers in, we can get experts in, we can have events, we can do surveys, all these things. Where are we? And just asking people what they want and what would make their life easier is so much easier than trying to think of it yourself. And just doing that in itself is a way of contacting people. And see, the time is almost there, but there's testimonials. Now, testimonials, how many people have testimonials on their website or use them on their profiles and so on? But they're absolutely useless. Most of them, oh, Debbie Catt, she was so nice, and this, it doesn't tell anybody anything. So if you want to ask for a testimonial, which is a brilliant way of making contact, because again, it's a perfectly legitimate thing. You can always say something like, we're updating our social media or our website or something. Could you spare me 5 minutes to answer 2 questions? You don't say, I want you to give us a testimonial, or will you? No, because if these people, you know, have worked with you and they're quite cheery about it, they're not going to say no for 5 minutes and 2 questions. Nobody's that churlish. Okay, so keep it tight when you give them that. And then have this chat, and you can say, what were your feelings and emotions, or what were your thoughts about, I don't know, bookkeeping or websites or whatever it is before you came to us? Why did you come to us? And what were your feelings once you'd done the work with us? If you've got those 3 questions, you've got some wonderful gold dust material. Wonderful gold dust material. So the other thing is, if you do just want a testimonial, don't just ask them to write one. Nobody knows what to write. You'll get a load of flannel. Okay, so you either send them an example one, which you've written so that you've got all the bits in that you want. So there's something like a template for them to follow. Or even better, because people's time is short, you say, how about I draft something and you can just sign it off? Or you can amend it as you see fit. Again, most people say, oh, that was brilliant. They're so relieved because they want to do it, but they know that they're not going to get round to it. And that way you get the best of both worlds. You've got the contact with them and you've got a good testimonial. So look, there's a few real nuggets there. There's a few activities that you can really get things moving on. But above all, think about them, because look at us sitting here. We're just people. They're just people. They have lives, they have traumas, they have families, they have upheavals. There's Linda with the granddaughter, 2.5. I mean, for goodness sake, you know, absolute joy. But, you know, That's top of mind, not about, you know, what we're telling them, what we want to tell Linda. So get into their world, think about them as people, do that background work, do your homework. It is hard, but you know, it pays off. So there we are, client communication, lots of little nuggets of techniques and tips. Any questions? Thank you.
Excellent, Debbie. Well done. That was brilliant, as always. Guys, who's got any questions for